Okay, we're going to go back and add the actual understanding for rounding decimal numbers to this. So you need to know what the terms are of the rounding we've just done. Oh, it's zooming for some reason, sorry. Don't know why it's doing zoom and not move. So to add these comments, there's my blue. This first one, 20 and 30, we were choosing powers of 10, so we were rounding to the nearest 10. This one, we were rounding to either 100 or 200, so we were rounding to hundreds. Part 3, why is it not? Got scroll accident, is that it? Question 3, we're choosing numbers which were in their thousands, so we were rounding to the nearest 1,000. Question 4, now we were rounding to 1 decimal point. So there's the decimal point and we've got 1 value after it. So that was rounded to 1 decimal place, or 1 dp. Okay, so we are showing the interesting value at 1 decimal point, or 1 decimal place. Next one. After the decimal point, we are only interested in 2 places. So this was to 2 dp, decimal places. And this last one, we were rounding to the nearest whole number. Nearest 1 whole number. So that was the rounding that we had given. So let's have a look at some further examples. So let's round first of all the 7994 to the nearest 100. Well, the hundreds column is this 9, so I'll just make a copy of the number. We don't worry about the 4. The 4 is a number we need to know, but we're not going to use it, so I'll just cross it out actually. I'm crossing it out vertically because the number is there, but we don't need to know about this number at all. We look at the 9, which is next to our 100 place that we want to know about. 9 says, make the next number bigger. So that 9 says, add 1 to the next digit, and our next digit becomes 10, so the 0 goes in that place. We carry 1 into the next column, so when we look at the 7, 7 plus 1 is 8. So these first 2 digits become 8, 0. The 9 we no longer worry about. We've removed that, that's affected my previous digits, and the 4 we didn't worry about at all. So to the nearest 100, 7994 is 8,000. To the nearest 10, 7994, well, the tens column is that 9 there. Look in the next column, 4 says round down. Rounding down says don't change the number before, so we now have 7990. It must be the right size. We always correct to make the number the right size. The purpose of rounding is not to change the size of the number, we just want a number that gives a better feel for how big that number is. So coming back to the nearest 1,000, we've got 7994. The number I want to know about is that 7. I look at the next place, 9. 9 says move it up. So when 7 is increased, it becomes an 8,000. Okay. Scrolling on. Now, just a little thought for you. Famous number, this one. This is actually pi. Pi goes on forever, so we have here pi to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 decimal places. So now we're going to know what pi is to 2 decimal places. Well, the thing I need to look at is what is in the second decimal. I want to know up to the second decimal place, so that's 3 point, first decimal place, second decimal place, so I want the 4. What does 1 say do? Move up or down? Down. So we have pi to 2 decimal places is 3.14. Okay. Let's go for next one. 3.14159. Now this one will bring in the what happens with 5, because 5 is neither closer to the round down or the round up. So where's the third decimal place? It's the second one. Look at the next value, 5. Now 5 could go either way. Traditionally, you will round 5 up. That's the standard rounding. Sometimes there are cases where you say round always up or round always down. It depends if you want the number to always be a little below the actual answer or above. But we're just doing standard rounding. The number's always round, splitting at 5. 5 rounds up, so we now have the next number becomes higher, and we get 3.14. Round up the 15 to 2, and we don't show the 0. One little quirk we didn't cover in the lesson is what happens with the following number. Let's go for 8.795, and I want to round that to 2 decimal places. So to 2 decimal places, I have my 8.795. I want to know what's in that place. So 5 says round up. So we're looking at 8.799 gets rounded up. So we've got the 8.79. The 5 says add 1 to the next column, which changes that into a 10, so carry 1 into the next column. 7 and 1 is 8. Doesn't change the next digit, and bring the decimal point down. So I've got an answer 8.8. But this only shows only 1 decimal place. So I must show that I knew this was to 2 decimal places. So I do show the next column is a 0. That must be seen. If you are asked for 2 decimal places and the last place is a 0, you still show it. Okay? So for 2DP, you must see this. Okay. 2 decimal places, we'll talk about it in the, when we're going through a couple of rounding questions as well, in the plenary situational ones. If we are rounding money, things like dollars, pounds, we round our answers to 2 decimal places. So just money, generally round to 2 decimal places. So you shouldn't normally see $5.85 and 2.3. Sometimes you do see this when you're buying fuel, but when you pay for it, if you were paying for fuel that worked out to this, it would round to 5.85. 2 decimal places, and it doesn't necessarily get stated. you do not ever do round it to 5.9 and leave it blank. This number needs to be seen. Okay, so even if the last digit on money or the second decimal place is 0, show that it says 0, just like the rules of everything else. It's true for euros, dollars, pounds. So money, dollars, UK pounds, the euro, I think even the ruble, used to be on the tenge as well. Tenge used to have one. We don't tend to use it anymore. We're not even using the 1, 2 and 5 tenge often in the shops anymore. But technically, when the tenge was created, you showed 2 decimal places. Okay.